So before I came here, I did some research online about how to get the most out of exchanging my money. How to get the most out of exchanging my money. How to get the most out of exchanging my money. Maybe I'll clip this and edit it together. Maybe you'll just think I have an incredibly weird stutter. A small rotten fish. Now I'm just going to eat it.
And you make it your own way.
Everything I found online said, get it from the ATM, that's the best way. No, that's not everything. A lot of things said, exchange it from your bank before you even come over. You know, while I was in America or the United States, go ahead and go to the bank, get the exchange, bring it over in Philippine money, which would have been a stack like this big, because you're allowed to travel with $10,000, which, when I filled out the customs paperwork, it was 10,000 American dollars, or I think 10,000 pesos, which was about the same. But 10,000 American dollars is that many pesos. So had I changed my 10,000 into pesos, I would have had to declare it, which maybe that's okay, maybe it's not. I think I would have been okay with it, but a lot of people might not be. So if you change it beforehand, it's $10,000 or 10,000 pesos. If you come over with, what would that be, 500,000 pesos, they're going to make you declare it. So when I went to the bank, I got online, I saw the exchange rate was about 50 pesos to a dollar. They were going to give me an exchange rate of 46 to a dollar, which meant on $10,000, instead of getting 500,000 pesos, I'm only getting 460,000. Difference of 40,000, that's $800. I would lose $800, as opposed to when I had I withdrawn $10,000. The first time we went to Lee Plaza, or the exchange place, depending on if they allow me to say their name, I might edit that out. It was over 50 to 1. It was 50.7. No, it was 50.9 online. And they were giving it to me at 50.7. So their cut was very, very small. You know, 1/5 a peso compared to 4 pesos that the United States Bank was trying to take as their cut. So my experience is bring the cash and exchange it, especially since the value of the peso has been going up. Now, I just exchanged some today. This is a month later. When we first got here, it's 50.7. Today, when I went in, it was 51.25. So if you bring the cash, you can exchange it as you need it, and then when you need a lot to, say, buy some property, you can exchange it if it's going up, or if it's going down, then you play it the other way. You get it all exchanged all at once, and then let it go down, and you still at least exchange it when it's worth a lot. There's a lot more freedom, and also you're not paying as many fees if you go ahead and bring the cash. I think the reason that what I found online was opposite of that. Way off. Like, I was going to lose, in some situations, 10%. Had I exchanged it beforehand, them taking 4 pesos, I think it's actually more than 4, per 50, you know, they were only giving me 46. Well, 10% of 46 is 4.6. That's pretty close to 10%. I think it's because those websites are run, or those blogs, or whatever, are run by the banks, by the people that are making money off of you doing it that way. You know, the other ones were saying, pay the ATM fee. That sounds ridiculous. Overall, bring the cash and exchange it when you get here. Second best prop on a large amount would probably be to do a wire transfer. They're going to get you on the exchange rate there too. but it's probably going to be equal to the exchange rate of ATM converting money, except I think the fee is only like $40, maybe $25 for a wire transfer. So cash is number one, wire transfer is number two for large amounts. Third would be ATM, or that might even be second if you're doing small amounts. And then fourth would be get the money beforehand and carry a big wad of Philippine pesos. And what I found was opposite of what I'm finding now. So I'm just making this video so that hopefully it can help people to know what it is that will work best for them. Alright, so before I left, I went to the bank, and I'm doing this off of memory. Basically, when I looked up the exchange rate, it was 50 point something, so it was between 50 and 51. And what they were going to give me at the bank was 46 point something, so between 46 and 47. If you do some subtracting, you get a rate, or you get the difference between those of 3 to 5 pesos per dollar. So doing the low and the high end, the math comes out to 3 divided by 47 and 5 divided by 46, somewhere between 6.4 and 10.9% if you want to exchange your money before you even go on vacation. Part of the problem with this is you have to declare anything over 10,000 pesos with customs, and 10,000 pesos is only about $200, so it seems like a hassle. And it's also only between 6.5% and 11%, so that's not very good anyways. So here's what I got if I were to do the exchange at the ATM, which is a lot of what I had found online. Some of these numbers, these are exact numbers. I withdrew 20,000 pesos. So I just looked at my statements online. My total cost was $405.05. Included in that is a $5 fee from my bank and a 250 peso fee from the ATM I used. So the actual cash that I got, when you subtract those fees, is $3.95.11. Doing a little bit of math, got the bank exchange rate to be 50.62 pesos per dollar. And I did this over the weekend, which made it easy to look up the exchange rate, because Saturday and Sunday the exchange rate doesn't change. So it ended up being 50.63. So they took a very small percentage. Looks like 1/100th of a peso. So that's pretty good. Now here's what I did. The fees divided by the actual cost. So here's the fees. Here's the actual cost. Gave me 0.025 converted to a percent is 2.5%. Obviously that's better than between 6.4 and 10.9 if I would have exchanged it at the bank before I even left. The last one I'm going to look at is exchanging the money at the local exchange. One of the first few days here, I went to the exchange, exchanged my money, and they gave it to me at this rate. I went home, I looked it up for the day. This is what it was posted at online. So doing the same calculation here, 0.2 pesos divided by 50.7 pesos gives me 0.39%. 0.39, way better than 2.5, and 2.5 is way better than 7.5, or whatever you want to take that as an average. So the worst thing to do is exchange your money first at your bank in the United States before you go on vacation. The middle one is to go ahead and get your money out at the ATM, and the best one is to exchange it at the local exchange while you're on vacation. The problem with this is now you have a bunch of cash. You know, people can watch you, plus you're carrying it around. So take it with a grain of salt. If you're all about the numbers and what's financially the best is to exchange it at your local exchange. I did run into a little bit of a problem with, there was a tear in one of the $100 bills and they would not accept it. The other problem was, and they were the old style, so they wouldn't take those either. So what you think is being proactive and getting the money beforehand actually turns into being the least cost effective. That's my 2 cents.
My 2 pesos.
That's my 2 pesos.
Yes.
No, I'm not tickled. I'm not tickled.
Stop it, please.